welcome back to the final episode of this season of Girls on Deck. It is crazy to think it's been a year since we've started this. I absolutely adore this show. I adore everyone that's a part of it. So I'm sad to see the season ending, but don't worry, I have another year left. I'll be back next year. Hannah will be back next year. Taylor will be back next year with a show of her own. Stay tuned for some more news on that. But yeah, so I'm so excited to have you guys. Taylor, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. I mean, it's an exciting time in sports. We're approaching the NFL draft. It's an exciting one this year, as you know, it's kind of like the year of the quarterback. You know, that's big names going up for grabs. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence. So let's get right into it. So we each came up with our own mock draft of the first couple picks, you know, just kind of gonna debate them a little bit. And for the first pick, I don't think any of us have to debate that one. I think the newlywed Trevor Lawrence will be going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's not much to say. Taylor, what do you think?
Yeah, no, the Jaguars fans sent Lawrence wedding gifts. So I feel like it's pretty obvious. The draft will kind of start at the second pick. This is like a no-brainer. And if any reason the Jaguars didn't pick him, like they don't even need to be a team anymore. Like it's obvious.
Yeah, I think if you bet against him going first and they don't, you're about to come up with some big money, because I mean, I don't know that it's been like this overall unanimous in a while that he will go. I know just today or the other day he donated $20,000 to charities in Jacksonville. There's rumors that he already has the playbook, and I wouldn't even be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he will be a Florida boy pretty soon. And the last time the Jaguars picked a QB in the first round was Blake Bortles. They picked him number 3 in 2014, and Blake Bortles, UCF quarterback. So, you know, hopefully they have some success with him. You know, they're looking for that long-term quarterback. You know, they keep thinking they have it, and we've seen they don't have it. So
yeah,
I'm excited. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be amazing to watch in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. He will be. He definitely has a persona about him and all of his leadership qualities. He's, as Dabo Sweeney said, he's the perfect quarterback. Like, what more could you ask for?
Absolutely. And, you know, he's 21 and married and an NFL player now. And I'm like, what am I doing? Where did I go wrong? Where do I get this success?
I think you need to go hang out in the football stadium a little bit more.
I know. I'm going to go. All right. Now, moving on to pick number 2. This is where it could get choppy, but, you know, a lot of people kind of have the same opinion for this one, too. I personally suspect that Zach Wilson from BYU will be going to the New York Jets. You know, they've put themselves in the position. I would be utterly surprised if they didn't pick a quarterback. They got rid of Sam Darnold, traded him to the Carolina Panthers for an NFL 6th-round pick, a 2021 NFL draft 6th-round pick. And I don't see them not taking a quarterback, and I do see them taking Zach Wilson. He's a great playmaker, accurate, good arm strength. I think he's a safety net for them, and I think, you know, they need an accurate thrower. They don't need another Sam Darnold who sees ghosts all of a sudden on the field. So what do you guys think? What do your pick for number 2?
Yeah, I too have Wilson, and I feel like everyone pretty much doesn't like have a specific reason. They just like pretty much know that he's going to the Jets. It's been obvious for a few months now, and then with the trade of Sam Darnold, it kind of like cemented it. His best trait is accuracy on the run, and his strengths are athleticism and deep ball accuracy, which the Jets are in dire need for. And with Wilson going to the Jets, it just feels like the gigantic need that they need for the quarterback position. And with his skill set, it's also like a pretty good fit with the new offensive coordinator in Mike LaFleur's system. So I think that this would be a pretty good pick for them as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I can also see Justin Fields being taken in that number 2 spot. I know it was heavily debated following the college football national playoffs and the championship game with Alabama. In his 2 seasons at Ohio State, he has a 20-2 record, and differing from Zach Wilson, who has only faced 6th ranked opponents, Justin Fields has faced 12. So he has more experience in tougher defenses and just working his way out of the pocket and working his way around the field, which the Jets could also use because, again, they didn't have that in Sam Darnold. So I can definitely see them picking Fields, but I wouldn't be surprised if they picked Wilson either.
Yeah, I think I can honestly see them picking either of the two. I say Zach Wilson. I just think, they need, again, accuracy, and I think that's something that he's very strong, obviously with. And like Taylor was saying, it was a general synopsis. There's no rhyme or reason to why Zach Wilson is suspected to go number 2, but he is, and I think he'd be a great fit. Now, Sam Darnold was a hopeful quarterback at one point for the New York Jets. So Taylor, do you think that it will be an adjustment to mesh with the Jets team? Do you think it's the coaching that maybe has some working to do as well?
I think the organization kind of needs a little bit of fixing, but I think with Wilson going in as quarterback, it's the start. It's not going to be a perfect season. It might not even, they might lose more games than they win the season too, but anything's better than the decisions they obviously made last year to not even get them Trevor Lawrence. But I think this is the starting point, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be interesting to watch how the New York Jets kind of rebuild themselves in a sense. I think they're definitely on that type of track that they haven't been working for years and years. So something needs to give for sure.
Yeah, they need to be a real team again.
Mm-hmm. Now, going on to the third pick, the San Francisco 49ers have that pick. I say they pick Justin Fields of Ohio State if, given that he doesn't go to the New York Jets. They traded up for this pick, so I don't see why they would have if they didn't want to pick a quarterback. Again, this is a big quarterback year, and the third spot, I think that's something that they're not going to pass up on. You have Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, Garoppolo.
Totally blanked on that one. Anyway, you have Jimmy Garoppolo. He's been injury prone. Not always consistent for them, and I think they need that level of consistency that I think Justin Fields could provide for them. Now, what do you guys think?
So this is my first spot in this top 5 that I go back and forth on. It's going to be a quarterback no matter what. Like you said, they moved up to this position just for a quarterback. It's going to be Justin Fields or Mac Jones. I personally say Mac Jones. I've obviously been back and forth, but I just feel like he fits a little bit better with Kyle Shanahan's offense. He's kind of been infatuated with them a little bit in the draft process, and they kind of have a connection. And it's a neutral partnership. But there were concerns about Jones's release and pro potential, but his arm strength and accuracy, I feel like would be a perfect fit in the Shanahan system. But I would not be surprised if they took Justin Fields. It's kind of just up in the air at this point, and I could see them going either way.
Yeah, I think, either decision is essentially a good one. I personally don't see Mac Jones going as early as people suspect him to go. I think he's a great pocket passer, but as we've seen in the NFL recently, we need more mobile quarterbacks. And I think Justin Fields is just that. And for a team like the San Francisco 49ers, that might be more essential to them at this moment in time. So I still think that they stick with Justin Fields. But again, this is something, there's 50,000 mock drafts, different ones. So we really don't know what's going to happen, but I personally think Justin Fields would be the better pick. Hannah, what do you think?
I put Zach Wilson as my number 3 pick just because, again, he is a deep ball. He has the deep ball accuracy, and he is a strong player. He's mobile. And if he doesn't go number 2, he'll go number 3. And same with Justin Fields. One of them's going to be number 2. The other one's going to be number 3.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that one. Now, moving on to pick number 4. This one is where I kind of start to change it up a little bit. The Falcons have Matt Ryan as a quarterback, and I don't necessarily think they're done with them, which would give them an opportunity to trade down in the draft. And I personally think the Denver Broncos will trade up from the 9th pick to take quarterback Trey Lance from North Dakota. Now, I think, they have Drew Lock, and he's not been doing very good for them. He's very average, inconsistent. And yes, he's still young, so they still have time to develop him, but I don't think taking a quarterback, especially in the first round, is going to hurt them. I think it's a win-win situation. If Drew Lock all of a sudden prospers, then I think that's great. You have Drew Lock now. You can work something out, trade him, trade Trey Lance, whatever it may be, or Drew Lock sucks and you have Trey Lance now. So I think personally, I think that'd be a great move for the Denver Broncos, but I want to know what you guys think.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to stay with Matt Ryan, even though I don't think this team has ever been the same ever since giving up the huge lead against the Patriots in the Super Bowl a couple years back. But I say they take tight end from Florida, Kyle Pitts, if they stay at that position. And Pitts would be a lot of fun to watch with the offense that the Falcons have. If they pass on taking a quarterback, then obviously they have this huge weapon that's going to make big time plays like further on in his career as well. He would give them one of the toughest offenses to defend in terms of just passing game. He'll be with Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley. And Pitts caught 100 passes and 18 touchdowns in his 3-year career at Florida, which is insane. As a tight end, he kind of pretty much does whatever you really need him to do. And again, adding to this offense would just make Atlanta one of the best offenses going into the new season.
I agree. I also had Kyle Pitts in my number 4 spot. He's a tight end that can be used all over the offensive formation, and he's difficult to cover. We saw that in his final season at UF this past year, and he will be someone that Atlanta can use, and he'll be a weapon for them. He'll make them one of the tougher offenses, like you had mentioned.
Yeah, I agree. I still think that the Falcons will trade down, but let's say they do stay there. I think they're taking Kyle Pitts. I don't think that's a player that you can pass up on. He's a once in a lifetime type of player. They literally call him a unicorn right now. His unique size and skill set is uncomparable right now, and I think it's something that a lot of teams need. That wide receiver. He could play the wide receiver position while also being a tight end, and I think that's going to be an asset. So if the Falcons keep that position, I absolutely think they take Kyle Pitts. And, as a Dolphins fan, that makes me cry a little bit, but it's fine. There's still plenty of talent going into this. Mm-hmm. Now, pick number 5, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, who Joe Burrow, the first-round pick last year, will be returning this season, hopefully, given that his injury is all good. But I think they take offensive lineman Penei Sewell from Oregon. Now, I think that's because they need an offensive line, and Penei Sewell is the best there is in this draft. And I think they don't want to let that opportunity pass them by in the beginning because, you saw Joe Burrow got hurt last year, and that could probably be because of the offensive line. So I think he'd be a great asset for them. And again, he's the best in the draft. So I think they take him early and secure that.
Yeah, I think the strategic move would be exactly what you just said and take Penei, but I think they're going to take Jamar Chase from LSU in the wide receiver position, only because it's kind of just what I've been hearing, and it's the relationship between him and Burrow. The last time they played together, Burrow threw 60 touchdowns, completely different team, college, NFL as well, but it's just that familiarity on the field, and I think it could help a little bit. But I do think they should take him as an offensive lineman, but if they pass on it now, I think their next pick will be one later on down in the draft lineup.
For sure, I agree. I also had Jamar Chase in my number 5 slot. In 2019, he led the FBS in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns, so it would be smart of them to take that, and it would also give Joe Burrow that familiarity, that comfort of having one of his former teammates with him on the field that he trusts. And it would be smart for them as well because he's a strong force on the field. He can be used to fold out some advanced plays that many ignore when they don't have that talent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Bengals, it's a matter of what they value most right away because, they need help in a lot of different places. There's a reason all these teams are at the beginning of the draft. Let's always remember that, there is not just one position essentially that they need help with. So I don't think it's bad either one that they take, but I don't know. I think they might stick with an offensive line, but again, that's something that we'll see. And again, if Kyle Pitts is up for grabs, you don't know that they won't take him too, because again,
exactly.
Kyle Pitts is one of those once in a lifetime type players, so I don't see how. I think every team, even the Jaguars, are going to look at him and be like, we have to take Trevor, but ooh, that would have been nice. He's going to be an asset on any team that he plays on. So, but yeah, I think, I don't disagree with any of the 3 options here. Now, the last pick I want to talk about is, I included this one in the show today because I'm like, the Miami Dolphins, they're working on a lot of things. They got Tua Tagovailoa last year, and we've seen some success, but it's still a little rocky. He's still young though. So I definitely do not see them taking another quarterback. I just don't see a need for that. I think it would be stupid on my opinion for them to take a quarterback when they have one that could potentially grow, and they desperately need so many other positions, like a wide receiver, a tight end. So I personally think at this point, Kyle Pitts hopefully will be still up for grabs. And if he is, I think they absolutely take him. I mean, he's just phenomenal. You know, they have Mike Gesicki, who's a great tight end as well. But, you know, this is something that we've seen before when the Patriots picked Gronk and Hernandez, and that double tight end duo, you know, phenomenal talent. So I think that could be a very strong asset to the Dolphins. And again, Kyle Pitts' ability to work in the wide receiver position, which is also something that they desperately need talent in. So, yeah, that's what I think for that one. Now, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they're going to take a quarterback. Finding a quarterback that's going to just blow barriers in his first season is super, super rare. Like Mahomes don't come around like every couple of years. So they got Tua last year. Now it's time to like continuously build his weapons that he didn't really fully have last year. So I think they're going to take Jalen Waddle from Alabama as a wide receiver. And it's kind of been around like Pitt, Chase, Devontae Smith, Sewell. Everything's just mixed in these last couple of picks. But I think that surrounding Tua with these dominant forces for wide receivers, tight ends, and everything would really help the Dolphins season, just for you, Kayla. And I just think that taking Waddle would be the smartest decision at this point for them.
Yeah, I agree with you both. I can see them taking more position players, but I also have a feeling that they'll look at Mac Jones. I don't think they'll take him specifically, but it would be smart to have a good backup for Tua. It would also bring in that familiarity. And besides, he's also won 2 national championships, and the most recent one that he's won was this past year, and that was his first one as a starting quarterback. Otherwise, he's been sitting on the bench waiting for Tua to get hurt, waiting for Jalen Hurts to get hurt. And then they did, and now he had his opportunity, and he led his team. He really exploded this past season, and it's something that the Dolphins might be able to use to help them grow and just to bring more knowledge to Tua and just help Tua grow and then help Mac Jones grow in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Mac Jones is going to be a phenomenal quarterback wherever he goes. I just don't think it's the Dolphins' time taken. They took 2 cornerbacks in the last drafts. First round, it's time to continue building their team, building the offense. Before Tua, they took cornerbacks. And I think they're going to give Tua at least another year to kind of figure it out. Maybe they take one in the next draft, a quarterback, but I think when you have talent like Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, I don't think you can pass on that. And in the state that the Dolphins are in, they don't have they don't have a safety net when it comes to a lot of these positions. So they are really looking to build on that. And these young talents, I mean, they're phenomenal players. So I just personally don't think they pass on a wide receiver, tight end type of deal.
Yeah, they definitely need it more, but even if Mac Jones doesn't go to them in the first round, I could probably see him going later on in like the second round, maybe the third.
Yeah, because I think, again, you know, Mac Jones is definitely in that top 5 of quarterbacks this draft, but I really think we'll see him go on a little later than maybe expected in the draft. I think you have a lot of teams looking for a lot of other positions right now. You know, you have obviously the Jaguars get Trevor Lawrence. That's all great. But after that, it's, you know, other positions are needed. So we'll see where he goes. You know, I still think, again, he's a great talent. I think in today's NFL with what we're seeing in quarterbacks, he's a different type. You know, he's kind of, you know, more the pocket passer, like the Tom Brady's type of thing. And you don't see a lot of that type of quarterback. So I think it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. And I think he'll be an asset anyway. But yeah, I'm excited to continue watching this draft. I think it's going to be an exciting one this year. I mean, even picking just the 6 that we've talked about today, I was sitting there stressed out. I was on the phone with my dad and I'm like, I couldn't be in a front office. Like I could not do it.
No.
And this draft pick is completely different than the top 5 I had maybe like 3 weeks ago. So who knows what's going to happen between then and now.
I know Taylor texted me her list and then she goes, wait.
I changed it right after.
I changed it.
I that's how it is though. I mean, you're looking at it, you're like, no, they could go this way, because realistically, there's no way to predict it unless you're in the front office of said teams, So we have no idea. We're just making this for our ideas for fun. Maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong, but and either way, the draft is such a fun time, and it starts April 29th, I believe, at 7 p.m. So I know Hitting the Field will have their draft show. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting one to watch. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
I hope the Patriots get a good quarterback, but that's not going to happen probably. But my fingers are crossed. But that's it.
They need it.
Yeah, the Patriots need to pick themselves back up for sure. A little embarrassing. I can't lie.
That's what that happens when you lose your number one weapon. So
I know. And now we're out Julian Edelman too, so there's really no point watching the NFL this year.
That one surprised me as well. I in football I get it when you have to retire. It's a tough sport on your body, but
it is.
It was a sad one, and Alex Smith announced his retirement too.
Mm-hmm.
That one also kind of broke my heart just because he had come back from such a horrible injury, but he came back, and I think that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
That he showed that he can do it, so it's awesome. But yeah, so we'll see on the draft April 29th. Stay tuned for the Hitting the Field draft show. Now, when we come back, Hannah and I will be discussing the opening of MLB season.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
And we're back with Girls on Deck. Now, I thought it'd be fun, since you won't see us again till almost the end of this current baseball season, to do some rapid fire predictions for how the season's going to end. It is very early, so these could totally change, but maybe we're right, and maybe we'll be patting ourselves on the back by the end of this season. So we're going to start off with World Series winners. I want to know who's both playing and what game it's going to go to. Hannah, what do you think?
So I had 2 for this. I can't really see it going in any other direction. I think the Dodgers are definitely going to be there for the National League, and then it's either going to be a toss-up between the New York Yankees or the Tampa Bay Rays from the American League. So it can either be that perfect rematch, or it'll be a game of both of our teams, which would be very exciting. Yeah. I think we'll probably go to 5 games, and depending on if it's the Rays, I think the Rays will take it this year, and depending on if it's the Yankees or the Dodgers, I can't really see which way that's going to go yet. I want to say the Dodgers, but the Yankees might be able to pull through.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope the Yankees get out of the slump they're in right now. If they do, it'll be the comeback of a lifetime. But I think it's no question the Dodgers are going back. I mean, they've proven themselves to already be able to do that this season. I mean, they're absolutely phenomenal. And I wanted to be a little bold with my prediction of who they're going against. I say the Red Sox. They're doing surprisingly amazing right now after losing basically their whole team. The Marlins need to take note of how it is to rebuild and actually be successful in it, because wow, I mean, so I think Red Sox Dodgers game 4.
I can see that, yeah.
That's my final. And the Dodgers take it in that sense.
That's a good prediction. I have the Red Sox as my season underdogs this year.
Really?
I didn't expect them to be 12-6 right now, but here they are. They're at the top of the American League East, and they're really proving that they are an older team, but they are the Red Sox. They're living up to their name.
Yeah, I am. Again, I was stunned by a lot of the teams that are doing great right now. My underdog is the Mariners. They're the best in the AL West right now. They're doing great overall in the American League. Again, shocked. Those are the Boston Red Sox and the Seattle Mariners are not 2 teams that I would have been like, they're going to kill it this year. And then you have the Yankees doing bad right now. I think we are kind of in some alternate universe.
I agree.
Right now, something's wrong here, because that's not at all what I was expecting. But yeah, I mean, hey, the Mariners don't have a World Series title, and I think maybe that would be cool. Maybe we'll predict that one. But now going on to NL MVP and AL MVP. Now this one, there's a lot of players kicking butt this season so far, but I have to give the NL MVP to another Brave, Ronald Acuna Jr. I know Freddie Freeman got it last year, and I think it's just going to stay within the team this year because he is a phenomenal player. His batting average is amazing, hitting, fielding. I mean, the man's an all-around great player. So I don't see it going to anyone else but Ronald Acuna Jr. And for AL, I have to go with JD Martinez from the Boston Red Sox. I mean, I think he's a big reason why they're doing so good right now. So those are my two. What about you?
For the National League, I have Shohei Ohtani. If he can play on both sides of the ball, I don't see why he wouldn't be at least in the discussion for the National League MVP. And then as far as the American League is concerned, I have Byron Buxton from the Minnesota Twins. He has incredible stats right now, and if he continues on the path that he is, he will definitely be within the top 3, maybe top 5 in that discussion later on.
Absolutely. I mean, again, this is very early on. Anything could happen. National League, now going on to the Cy Young. National League and the American League Cy Young Award winners. This one I was struggling with a little bit. There's, again, a lot of great pitchers this year, and I was back and forth. This is my bold prediction. I think Clayton Kershaw will make his 3rd attempt for a National League Cy Young Award. I think he's going to do it. I don't see how he doesn't. I see how he does it if he starts to plummet after this. Exactly. But as everything's going the way it is now, yes. And then American League Cy Young Award winner, I also think another one who's gotten it before, Shane Bieber. I think he's phenomenal. It's hard with pitchers like Shane Bieber because they're on teams that aren't very
successful.
Good. Yeah, successful. That's the word. So it's hard to, like these pitchers kind of go unnoticed, but he is absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, that's my pick.
I could definitely see it going that way too. I had them written down as they would definitely be in the discussion. But for the National League, for me, I think it'll go to Jacob Degrom from the New York Mets. He has a .45 ERA right now. That's very tough, and that's not something I would expect from a Mets pitcher. They're not normally good. So the fact that he's doing really well, I'm surprised. The American League, probably Tyler Glasnow. Again, he has a .73 ERA, and he's one to beat this season. 36 strikeouts in 24.2 innings. Amazing player, and he's just doing a great job so far.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Those were two that I definitely stumbled upon too, especially Jacob Degrom. I mean, that's a name that we've been hearing for years, and he's just consistently amazing. The Mets do him dirty in a sense, but I want to clear up, Clayton Kershaw already has 3 Cy Young Award wins. He'll be going for his 4th. So 4th time's the charm in my eyes. I think he could do it. Now, lastly, I want to know most home runs. Back in 2017, we saw the battle between Judge and Stanton to get the record of all time. And, now we're having last year, the lot, but with 60 game season, it was kind of hard to get a lot of them. And I think, being back in a regular season, I think we're going to see large numbers this year. And I have Ronald Acuna Jr. getting the most home runs in the MLB this season.
I have that as well, especially since he's leading right now.
Yeah. I don't think anyone could bet against him on that one. Yeah. I really think this is his year to shine. And, maybe we're wrong in our World Series predictions. Maybe the Braves kind of sneak up on us, but no, we'll see. I mean, anything can happen.
We'll be back in October to be like, oh, we were right.
Yeah, we'll be back in October, and you'll know if we were actually smart or not.
Yeah,
if we actually made the right decisions.
We can predict things in the Super Bowl. I think we can do baseball too.
We got the Gatorade right, so
That's
it's clearly the most important part about the Super Bowl, the Gatorade. So I think we can get this right. I hope so, because I like to win. But yeah, no, it's honestly, we'll see you guys next year. I mean, it's so crazy that this is the last episode. We've been doing this I've been doing this for a full year. You've been doing this for almost half a year now. Like, it's it's crazy to see how far we've come. And I mean, this is, you know, from a small idea that Sean had to do an all-female girls sports talk show to this. And I think it's been amazing, the opportunities that we've had along the way. I got to interview Tuki Toussaint of the Atlanta Braves, and I just, you know, just learned so much and grow so much. I still have so much more to grow. And I think that's the amazing part of this, is that we're using this as a learning tool and helping us grow in our career. Because, you know, this type of experience is not easily found. So it's been an amazing opportunity. And I'm excited. I'm so sad we're not going to be able to get to do this over summer.
I know it's going to be upsetting, but we'll both be watching baseball and football training camp. So we'll be all set.
Yes. Hannah and I will be communicating over summer for sure. You'll see our Instagram stories blowing up. Definitely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for watching, everyone, over the years. Now, before I ended, I wanted to, you know, we're females in this industry, as we all know, and that's something that is, you know, not always easily accepted. And I think we all have women specifically in the sports industry that we look up to. And I wanted to make a little video montage of us explaining who they are and why we look up to them so much, because women belong in sports. You know, it's amazing how far we've come, even in just the past 10 years. We have the first baseball general manager who's a female. I mean, we're seeing coaches in football, and it's just absolutely inspiring to see how far women have come in the world of sports. And I can't wait to see what we continue to do. So thank you so much for watching this season. We will see you in August, right? That's when we're back in school.
I believe so.
So we'll see you in August. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name's Taylor Anderson. I'm a junior broadcast journalism student, and the woman that I look up to the most in sports is Laura Rutledge. She's done it all from college to Major League Baseball, basketball, football. She does with grace. She's personable, and when she talks to you, she makes you feel like you're one of her friends, and she's just such a joy in the women's sports community, and she continuously gives back to the younger generation below her, and I hope to one day follow in her footsteps to become a sideline reporter for Monday Night Football.
Hey y'all, it's Hannah, and the female that I look up to the most in the sports world would probably be Erin Andrews. She does sideline reporting on ESPN and for Fox Sports. She's very confident in what she does, and she's very driven, and that's something I look up to her for. Another would be Maria Taylor, because she does something similar, which is sideline reporting for college football and college game day. Again, I look up to her for her confidence and just knowing what she does, the respect that they both demand when they're on the field.
Hello, I am Kayla, host of Girls on Deck, and when I think of women in the sports industry, one name that always comes to mind for me is Erin Andrews. She's honestly someone that I greatly look up to. Her tenacity, her passion. I mean, it's just truly inspiring how much she absolutely loves what she does. And honestly, just her powerfulness. She's, you know, out there every week and doing all kinds of things. She's a fashion line. She's on Dancing with the Stars. She's just an absolute powerful woman, and I truly look up to her as a sports reporter.
My name is Kennedy Collins, and the woman that has inspired me the most has to be Doris Burke. I mean, growing up watching her, I just told my parents, like, I want to be her. I didn't know how I was going to be, still am not, but I knew I wanted to be her and just be like her. I'm thankful for so many women that have just went before me and these other amazing women that I get to work with and have made it possible for women to have a career in sports. So thank you to all the women that have done that, and thank you to all the women that are coming after those women.